Cirque Du Freak, A Living Nightmare, Chapter 1. I was in the bathroom at school, sitting down on the toilet humming a song. I had my pants on. I'd come in near the end of English class feeling sick. My teacher, Mr. Dalton, is great about things like that. He's smart and knows when you're faking and when you're being serious. He took one look at me, and when I raised my hand and said I was ill, then nodded his head and told me to go to the bathroom. "Throw up whatever's making you sick, Darren," he said. "Then get your behind back in here." I wish every teacher was as understanding as Mr. Dalton. In the end, I didn't get sick, but still felt queasy, so I stayed on the toilet. I heard the bell ring for the end of class, and everybody came rushing out of their lunch break. I wanted to join them, but knew Mr. Dalton would be angry. He doesn't get mad if you trick him, but he goes quiet and won't speak to you for a while, and that's almost worse than being shouted at. So there I was, humming, watching my watch, waiting. Then I heard someone calling my name. "Darren, hey Darren! Have you fallen in or what?" I grinned. It was Steve Leopard, my best friend. Steve's real last name was Leonard, but everyone just called him Steve Leopard. And not just because the name sounds alike. Steve used to be what my mom calls a wild child. He raised hell wherever he went, got into fights, stole from stores. One day, he was still in a stroller. He found a sharp stick and prodded a passing woman with it. No prizes for guessing where he stuck it. He was feared and despised everywhere he went, but not by me. I've been his best friend since kindergarten when we first met. My mom says I was drawn to his wildness, but I just thought he was a great guy to be with. He had a fierce temper and threw scary tantrums when he lost it, but I simply ran away when that happened and came back again once he'd calmed down. Steve's reputation had softened over the years. His mom took him to see a lot of good counselors who taught him how to control himself, but he was still a minor legend in the schoolyard and not someone you messed with, even if you were bigger and older than him. "Hey, Steve," I called back. "I'm in here." I hit the door so he'd know which one I was behind. He hurried over and opened the door. He smiled when he saw me sitting down with my pants on. "Did you puke?" he asked. "No," I said. "Do you think you're gonna?" "Maybe," I said. Then I leaned forward all of a sudden and made a sick noise. Blah! But Steve Leopard knew me too well to be fooled. "Give my boots a polish while you're down there," he said, and laughed when I pretended to spit on his shoes and rub them with a sheet of toilet paper. "Did I miss anything in class?" I asked, sitting up. "Nah," he said, "the usual crap." "Did you do your history homework?" I asked. "It doesn't have to be done until tomorrow." "Does it?" he asked, getting worried. Steve's always forgetting about homework. "The day after tomorrow," I told him. "Oh," he said, relaxing. "Even better. I thought—" He stopped and frowned. "Hold on," he said. "Today's Thursday. The day after tomorrow would be—" "Gotcha!" I yelled, punching him on the shoulder. "Ow!" he shouted. "That hurt." He rubbed his arm, but I could tell he wasn't really hurt. "Are you coming out?" he asked then. "I thought I'd stay in here to admire the view," I said, leaning back on the toilet seat. "Quit joking," he said. "We were down 5-1 when I came in. We're probably 6 or 7 down now. We need you." He was talking about soccer. "We play a game every lunchtime. My team normally wins, but we'd lost a lot of our best players. Dave Morgan broke his leg. Sam White transferred to another school when his family moved, and Danny Curtin had stopped playing soccer in order to spend lunch hanging out with Sheila Lee, the girl he likes. Idiot. I'm our best forward. There are better defenders and midfielders, and Tommy Jones is the best goalkeeper in the whole school, but I'm the only one who can stand up front and score 4 or 5 times a day without fail." "Okay," I said, standing. "I'll save you. I've scored a hat-trick every day this week. It would be a pity to stop now." We passed the older guys, smoking around the sinks as usual, and hurried to my locker so I could change into my cleats. I used to have a great pair, which I won in a writing competition, but the laces snapped a few months ago and the rubber along the sides started to fall off. Then my feet grew. The pair I have now are okay, but they're not the same. We were down 8-3 when I got on the field. It wasn't a real field, just a long stretch of grass with painted goalposts on either end. Whoever painted them was a total idiot. He put the crossbar too high at one end and too low on the other. "Never fear, Hotshot Shan is here," I shouted as I ran onto the field. A lot of players laughed or groaned, but I could see my teammates picking up and their opponents getting worried. I made a great start and scored 2 goals inside a minute. It looked like we might have a comeback or draw or win, but time ran out. If I'd arrived earlier, we'd have been okay, but the bell rang just as I was hitting my stride, so we lost 9-7. As we were leaving the field, Alan Morris ran toward us, panting and red-faced. They're my 3 best friends, Steve Leopard, Tommy Jones, and Alan Morris. We must have been the wildest 4 people in the whole world because only one of us, Steve, has a nickname. "Look what I found," Alan yelled, waving a soggy piece of paper around and under our noses. "What is it?" Tommy asked, trying to grab it. "It's," Alan began, but stopped when Mr. Dalton shouted at us. "You four, inside," he roared. "We're coming, Mr. Dalton," Steve roared back. Steve is Mr. Dalton's favorite, gets away with stuff the rest of us couldn't do, like when he uses swear words sometimes in his stories. If I put in some of the words Steve has, I'd have been kicked out long ago. But Mr. Dalton has a soft spot for Steve because he's special. Sometimes he's brilliant in class and gets everything right, while other times he can't even spell his own name. Mr. Dalton says he's somewhat of an idiot savant, which means he's a stupid genius. Anyway, even though he's Mr. Dalton's pet, not even Steve can get away with showing up late for class. So whatever Alan had, it would have to wait. We trudged back to class, sweaty and tired after the game, and began our next lesson. Little did I know that Alan's mysterious piece of paper was to change my life forever. For the worse.